Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Prose, and today we're going to be talking about music. We're going to be looking at, what does the Bible say about music? Now, music, first and foremost, we have to understand that we sing, we play instruments, all these things that humans do. The Bible tells us that we should use instruments to worship God, to glorify God. We should sing to glorify and worship God. Music is something that is reserved for God's glory. But in the world today, because of Satan, because of demons, because of the dark world, a lot of people use music for evil things or to promote sin. And a lot of sin today within, the 2022. Within 2022 and within the modern era that we live in, a lot of songs today promote sin, promote promiscuity, promote drugs, promote a life of violence and crime and things like that. Um, and the thing is that music influences us, music drives us, music makes us. A lot of times when athletes are going to play a game or people in the NBA, people in the NFL, a lot of times they will play music to get themselves hyped up and prepared for the game. So music, sometimes you can listen to a song and can make you cry. And then music is used in every type of media. Music is used in horror movies to scare you, to get your blood pumping. Music is used to hype you up. Music is used in pep rallies and movies and on your phone. It's used everywhere. It can control your emotions based on what you're listening to. I mean, sometimes when people go through a breakup, they'll listen to sad love songs to somewhat deal with it. Or when people are in a romantic relationship and they're happy, they'll listen to happy love songs. I mean, there's sad love songs, happy love songs, neutral love songs, weird love songs. I mean, music is used in every facet to play with your emotions. I mean, modern television or all television to be truthful here, all of television will use music to control or lower your emotions, heighten them, because music can just about enter your mind in a certain way where it makes you feel certain things. There's some people, they'll listen to a song and they'll start crying, or they have this connection with this song with somebody else that they knew, or their father, or their loved one, or somebody, and when they hear the song, they want to cry. I remember when I was younger in middle school, there was this one girl, her father used to sing like Somewhere Over the Rainbow to her when she was a little girl, and her father had died. And every time she heard Somewhere Over the Rainbow, she started to cry because she remembered her father. And so that song was something that connected her to the memory, and the song was so connected to the memory of her father passing away, of who her father was, that she would cry. In the same way, we a lot of times people will use music when they're sad. In every, I mean, honestly, there's like a song for every emotion that you go through. Now we have to really understand this, that what you listen to, what you put into the one way that things enter your being is through your ears, through your eyes, through what you smell, like literally what you do with your body matters. And what you listen to, what you put into your head, if you listen to certain songs that are promoting promiscuity, they're promoting sinful things, you start after a while, 5 times, 10 times every day you're listening to these types of songs. Sooner or later they will start to influence your personality. They will start to change the way that you think, your mood. I mean, if you're listening, honestly, I mean, we know this to be a fact, because that's why athletes use hype music when they're about to go play a game, because they want to be hyped. It brings their emotions up. They brings the intensity up. It brings their focus up. It heightens them. I mean, in Africa, a long time ago, when people used to go to war, they would have drums, which is also always, when I was a little kid, I would be like, this makes no sense. Why would people bring instruments to war? But music would push people into war. Music would push people to fight. Music was very important. hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, when people used to bring music into the battlefield because it would boost emotions, boost morale, and within that's pretty much that's in the physical world. So like music promotes messages, it promotes ideals, it promotes ideas. And when you listen to them, you might not think it does, but it does. It influence your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, and it put ideas in your head. Because the music, the artists that you listen to, they do plant ideas within their songs, and those ideas, after you listen to the song long enough, you love the song, and then you start to love the ideals. And there's some music that what they're promoting is completely dark. A lot of female rappers and artists today, they promote promiscuity. It's kind of like, if you want to get ahead in this world, if you want to make money, if you want to just use a guy for his finances, or use a girl, these are the things that you need to do. A lot of songs promote using your body to get money, to get things that you want. And people will listen to these songs. They will believe in them. So in the physical world, just the way just the way that it um, impacts your mind is very dangerous. But also within the spiritual world, music is very powerful. When we worship God, when we're singing to God, God hears our prayers. He hears our worship. And a lot of times, people don't understand that within the spiritual world, what you're listening to, it does matter. Because again, even Christ talked about, you have to be careful what you let within what you let within your being, your eyes, your ears, what you let within yourself. Because the things that you're focused on, the thing that you're doing, because your time is very precious. Your time is worth a lot. And when you take your time and you're feeding yourself certain types of music that promote sin, that promote wickedness, that's what you're gonna fall into. Look at drill music and how drill music has influenced a lot of young people to do certain types of things, or at least motivate them or hype them up to do certain types of things. And again, if you're listening to something over and over again every day, how long is it going to take until you start believing into what you're listening to? You know? Because education in school, that's how it works. You go to school, you sit in the desk, in a seat, and your teacher speaks for hours, and you pretty much take what he or she says and then regurgitate it, or somehow believe in it enough to use it on a test or in life somewhere else. So the things that we listen to, the same way that we listen to our teachers, professors, whatever, and they say words and they come into our ears and then we apply them, is the same way that artists say words, they come into our ears, and you say, well, no, 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 those are artists. We're not going to apply them in our lives. Don't lie to yourself. Even the Bible tells us, don't deceive ourselves. Don't deceive yourself. Um, so music was made for God. Music was made to worship God. The instruments were made to worship God and glorify God. If you take music and do something else with it, well, it can backfire on you. And the things that a lot of times people will use music to promote, to just promote evil things. And you have to really be careful with that. Because the Bible really tells us, everything that has breath, every instrument should worship God. And that's the whole entire purpose of music. And we can't take it out of context. Because again, this is something that's very fascinating. In the spiritual world, we remember when Saul had that evil spirit that came upon him, David had to come, and David was playing the harp. So that's another thing. Music, because of what David did, music can cast away evil spirits. Because every time that evil spirit came upon Saul and David would play the harp, the spirit would go away, or the spirit, or Saul would find peace. So we can say that music is powerful enough to cast away demons, to send demons away. Because every time, Saul wasn't calling David to cast out demons. He was calling Saul. Saul called David to come and play, or they called David to come and play whenever that evil spirit would come upon Saul. I mean, this is mind-boggling. Um, that's how powerful music is. A lot of times, um, we think that music has no purpose, but it does influence us from the physical world and the spiritual world. And that story with David proves to us that evil spirits, they can be cast out or cast away, or Saul found peace every time David played the harp. It's not the harp itself. It's that the power of music. It's a lot of power there. It's a lot of power, and in the spiritual world, it is used a lot of times. When people play with things that they're not supposed to, they use music to do it. People will use music to get demons inside of them. People will use music to get ideas out there, evil ideas out there. Um, but we have to remember, we have to understand that the primary purpose of music is to worship God. The Bible tells us that everything that has breath, worship God. Every musical instrument, use them to worship God. And you have to understand why God created music, and that's its purpose, is to worship God. Not to worship Satan, not to promote sin, not to glorify sin. A lot of songs today, they're used to glorify sex, promiscuity, fornication, um, and that's just the work of the devil. So know what you're listening to. Whatever music you listen to, know what it is, because it is influencing you, and it does have power. We can see that with the whole, you know, Saul and David and that evil spirit, and how David was able to help out Saul when that evil spirit came upon Saul. So we have to be very careful. Um, Understand what you're listening to, and make sure that it's not, you know, make sure that it's not, evil in some way. So that's what I'll say. Now.